Tallstar's Revenge, Chapter 14. Tallpaw hung his head over the side of his nest and peered out from under the grass. The clearing was empty. While the clan slept, the waning moon silvered the tusks and spilled across the meeting hollow. Tallpaw blinked up at the stars. "Are you there, Star Clan? Can you see me?" Wondered if Finch Kit was watching him. Would she have been such a disappointment to Sandgrass? Maybe she would have known how to make Palebird happy. Sherpa and Rena were snoring gently in the nests behind him. Loneliness huddled out Tallpaw's chest until he couldn't bear it any longer. He crept from his nest and slid out of camp. Beyond the heather walls, a soft breeze tugged his fur. The moor stretched before him, drenched in moonlight. Tallpaw broke into a run, relishing the wind against his fur, lengthening his strides until he felt like a bird skimming the grass. He headed for the moor top, skirting the heather, staying in the open, out of breath by the time he reached the Outlook Rock. Up here, the wind pushed hard enough to make him pad warily across the stone, taking care not to slip. He stopped at the edge and stared across the sleeping valley. Far beyond the meadows, an owl screeched. Tallpaw narrowed his eyes, seeing wings flatter in the top of a distant oak. An owl lifted and circled up into the peat-black sky. Is that what it feels like to join Star Clan? Tallpaw imagined lifting off from Outlook Rock and spiraling into the stars. The grass rustled behind him. His paws brushed the rock. Tallpaw spun around. "Who's there?" He could just make out the outline of a cat against the dark bulk of the moor. "It's me, Sparrow." The Tom's mew was soft. "Is that Tallpaw?" Tallpaw dipped his head. "Yes." "Are you supposed to be out here by yourself?" Tallpaw turned to the horizon. "Probably not." "Do you mind if I join you?" Sparrow jumped onto the stone and sat down beside Tallpaw. "I couldn't sleep." "Do you ever wonder what it would be like to fly?" Tallpaw murmured. He gazed at the owl as it swooped low over a meadow. "I would think it's hard work." Sparrow's tail whisked over the rock. "If you stop flapping, you fall. I'd rather feel the earth beneath my paws and know where I am just by looking around me." Tallpaw glanced at him. "Do you like being aroused?" Sparrow's eyes glistened. "Is that what I am?" "That's what warriors call cats who don't live in clans." "Then I guess I'm a roach." Why are you here?" Tallpaw asked. "I couldn't sleep," Sparrow repeated. "Not on the rock. I mean, why are you staying with Wind Clan?" "It's where my friends wanted to come," Sparrow meowed. "So I came too." He gazed into Tallpaw's eyes. "Why are you here?" Tallpaw blinked. What did he mean? Why am I with Wind Clan? No, that's a dumb question. Do you mean why I am on Outlook Rock? He asked. "If you like." Sparrow turned and stared across the valley. "I couldn't sleep like you." "Something bothering you?" Sandgrass. Sadness and anger welled up until Tallpaw's throat tightened. "My father hates me. He wants me to be a tunneler, but I hate tunneling." Once Tallpaw started talking, he couldn't stop. "I tried to go underground, but the river broke through the clay and chased me. Now Heather Stars found out and banned them from tunneling. And Sandgrass thinks it's all my fault because I'm a coward." The words rushed from Tallpaw so fast it surprised him. He stopped and took a deep breath. Sparrow hadn't moved. He sat as still as the rocks, gazing out to the horizon. "Are you a coward?" Tallpaw bristled. "No!" "Then Sandgrass is wrong," Sparrow meowed simply. "I was scared, though," Tallpaw confessed. "When the tunnel flooded. I'd have been scared too." Sparrow shifted his paws. "No cat wants to be trapped underground in a flood." "Sandgrass wasn't scared," Tallpaw pointed out. "Sandgrass has been facing floods for moons. Perhaps I should become a teller, Tallpaw sighed. If I faced Flood's wounds, I might get used to it too. Sparrow caught his gaze and held it. Is that what you want? It's what Sandgrass wants. But is it what you want? No! Tallpaw's pelt pricked with frustration. Been over this before. But what I want doesn't seem important. It doesn't seem important to Sandgrass, Sparrow blinked. But I'm guessing it's important to you. Of course it's important to me. Then you should spend more time about aiming for what you want, Sparrow meowed, and less time worrying about what your father wants. That's easy to say, Tallpaw twitched his tail. Sandgrass chose his own destiny, Sparrow went on. Why should he get to choose yours, too? In the end, we choose our own destinies. Huckhart's words echoed in Tallpaw's mind. You're right. Tallpaw stared at Sparrow. Why should Sandgrass get to choose my path as well as his own? My paths are my own. I'll decide what to do with them. Energy surged through him. Sparrow stood up and turned to the moor. Are you going? Tallpaw called. I want to see what the night prays like in the heather, Sparrow told him. I'm sure the elders will like waking up to a full prey heap. Tallpaw watched him pad across the rock. Thank you, he meowed. Sparrow glanced back. For what? Before Tallpaw could answer, the road slipped into the shadow of the moor. Tallpaw turned back into the valley and gazed at the stars on the horizon, his heart feeling lighter in fear than it had in moods. You choose your destiny, Sandgrass. I'll choose mine. You're still half asleep. Dawnstripe nudged Tallpaw's shoulders as he dragged his paws towards the entrance. He felt numb as a stone and his mouth was dry. He had sat on Outlook Row until the horizon started to lighten. Only then did he return to his nest. He'd managed to snatch a short sleep before the sun rose, but it wasn't enough to stop his eyelids from drooping as he headed out on patrol with Aspenfall, Dawnstripe, and Stage Leap. Bring back a mouse, Lily Whisker called from outside the elder's den. Flailfoot's starving. Tallpaw frowned. Hadn't Sparrow restocked the prey heap like he promised? Reed Feathers on patrol. Reed Feathers patrol will be back soon. Dawnstripe called back. The WindClan deputy had taken doe spraying and Appledon hunting. Mole padded from the grass and stopped beside Lily Whisker, his nose twitching. I smell rabbit. As he spoke, the entrance tunnel shivered and Tallpaw padded in and Sparrow padded into a camp. A plump rabbit hung from his jaws. Lily Whisker's eyes lit up. Dawnstripe purred. You're just in time. She flicked her tail towards the elder's den. Sparrow nodded and carried his catch across the prey. Belly rumbling at the scent of fresh prey, Tallpaw stumbled dozily after the rest of his patrol. Excuse me, Hickory-Nose shouldered pats with Mist Mouse, Plumeclaw, and Woollytail, and Sandgrass behind him. Why can't tunnelers wait their turn like other warriors? Spinfall grumbled under his breath as he halted to let the tunneling patrol through the entrance first. Tallpaw snapped his head up to try to catch Sandgrass's eyes. Before he pushed the way through the heather, his valor shot him a look that stabbed Tallpaw's heart. Dawnstripe brushed softly against Tallpaw. Why don't you run to the first marker, she suggested. It might wake you up a bit. Tallpaw heard sympathy in her mew. She saw how Sandgrass looked at me. Okay. Running wouldn't make Sandgrass angry stare her and laugh. But Tallpaw was grateful his mentor cared. As he raced under the grass, he saw the ginger tip of Sandgrass's tail snake into the bushes. Why can't I have normal kin who care about my training and who are proud of me? Scowling, Tallpaw rounded the edge of the camp and raced for the first marker. As he neared the border of fir trees, he began to pick up scents from the forest. Somehow the wind carried scents more easily from this side of the moor, including when the breeze blew in the right direction. The harsh smell of Two-Lake Place. Tallpaw paused and tasted the air. Something was different. There was a faint, ominous tang below the scent of bright yellow grass flowers and tiny purple blooms on the heather. His hackles rose. "Not dog, not Two-Leg," he sobbed again. "Sparrow?" Perhaps the roach had left scent when he was hunting. It didn't smell like sparrow, but it was familiar. "I smelled at the gathering." Concentrating, Tallpaw sifted through his memory of the scents he'd learned at full moon. Pine sap? Stale river water? Neither. It's ThunderClan. Tallpaw scanned the heather. The scent was fresh. The ThunderClan cat had passed this way since dawn. He had to tell Dawnstripe. He whirled around and raced back toward camp, plunging through a swath of bristled grass to explode out on the other side. Dawnstripe, Aspenfall, and Stage Leap were padding across the grassy clearing, following its trail to the border. "Invasion!" Tallpaw skied to a halt, panting. Aspenfall's pelt brushed. "Where?" Tallpaw tasted the air. The ThunderClan scent was wafting from the slope behind him to the moor tip. He scanned the hillside. Thick furred tails bobbed through a swath of the dark green bracken. "Everywhere! ThunderClan has invaded!" Hurtling forward, he streaked past his patrol. "Tallpaw!" Dawnstripe yelled after him. He glanced backward. She was staring at him wide-eyed. Why wasn't she following? Tallpaw pounded upslope and crashed into the bracken. ThunderClan scent had flooded his nose as he pursued them through the feathery frowns. Burst into open grass, astounded to see ThunderClan patrol already nearing the moor top. Two broad-shouldered warriors, one tortoiseshell, one gray, were leading two younger cats to a calm, purposeful walk. How dare they trespass so deep into WindClan territory? They had been trying to hide. "Weasel!" Tallpaw raced towards them. "Weasel heart!" he screeched. The ThunderClan patrol turned and stared at him. The tortoiseshell arched her back, eyes wide. "Tallpaw!" Dawnstripe's yell sounded behind him. "I'll hold them off!" Tallpaw unsheathed his claws, ready to sink them into the first warrior he reached. Paw steps thumbered behind him. His paw was catching up. He wouldn't have to fight alone. The ThunderClan cats backed away, their ears flat. Tallpaw leaped at the gray warrior. "Trespassers! WindClan attack!" Well, that's the end of chapter 14, you guys. I have been Music for 23. It sounds like Tallpaw's having a hard time. It's like Sandgrass isn't liking the fact that Tallpaw doesn't want to be a tunneler. What will happen? Find out. Comment, like, subscribe, bye, and I will be back hopefully Wednesday with chapter 15, which will be on my birthday.